Good morning. Starting this Thursday with chilly conditions outside right now. So here's a check of our current air. We're in the 40s for most communities across the area. Altamont a little bit colder in the 30s at 39 degrees. But remember, we're going to have 3 upcoming mornings in the 30s across the region. 41 in Murphy, 40 in Blue Ridge, 46 for Athens, Cleveland, and Dayton at this time. Don't forget that wind is blowing, so there is a little bit of a wind chill this morning. It's currently coming from the southwest at 7 miles per hour, and it's going to get breezy as we go through the day today, particularly midday hours right into your early evening time. That's when we can see some of those wind gusts from the west at about 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, this is certainly going to be the case across our area. Technically, we only have a wind advisory in place for our Georgia communities, but everybody can really expect that gusty wind. Let's talk about those wind advisories, though. That wind advisory is from 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. So again, kind of midday into the early evening hours. Sustained wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts up to 35. I think this is really kind of the key factor. Isolated stronger gusts above 2,000 feet. So some of those mountains in North Georgia needing to watch out for some stronger gusts. And this is kind of interesting. It's not just wind advisories that we have today. We also have a winter weather advisory. We were just at 80 degrees the other day, and now southeastern Monroe County can expect some winter weather. Now, we're talking about some kind of significant numbers if you're above 4,000 feet. So I'm just looking at the tallest mountain peaks in Monroe County, right at that Tennessee-North Carolina line. 3 to 5 inches of snow possible as you go down in elevation, a pretty quick drop off in that snow accumulation. Also some gusts at 40 miles per hour. That's going to give some wind chills in the teens too. The winter weather advisory is in effect until 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. And just kind of a heads up, some of the border areas of Cherokee County, you may get some accumulating snow as well. So here's a look at the current radar, and you can kind of see that difference. On here, this blue color just indicates really light rainfall. So the stray raindrops, the sprinkles here and there. The white, though, that you see at that Tennessee-North Carolina line, that's a little bit of that snow this morning with that wind, kind of the steering current coming in from the west. All of this, again, is part of that low pressure system that continues to circulate around the Great Lakes, and it brings us that little bit of activity. We're also seeing the cloud cover associated with that. Really kind of Chattanooga and northward being affected. It only sweeps through a little bit of Alabama and Georgia, and that's going to be the story going through the day today as well. You're generally going to see more clouds for our northern communities, less cloud cover the further to the south that you go. So looking at futurecast dipping down, a few of those spotty sprinkles here and there are going to be possible. And then as we go through your Friday, you get kind of a nice mix of sun and clouds for your Friday, and then clearing out Friday night into Saturday. Saturday is going to end up with more sunshine, and we end up with warmer high temperatures by the time we get to Saturday afternoon as well. Now for your allergy report today, air quality in the good category. Mold's not too bad today, but we are still looking at it later on, reaching that high category. And then the pollen count once again very high. Tree pollen, that's going to be the biggest culprit. Hickory, pine, mulberry, oak. But then we're also looking at a little bit of grass pollen at play too. So mindful of that for your allergies. 58 degrees for the high today. Some clouds. It's going to be cool. Some of those wind gusts at 20 to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, 38 degrees. It's going to be some colder areas outside of Chattanooga. Clouds for our northern communities. Certainly a cold night. Needing to watch out for some patchy frost possible. Usually frost advisories, freeze warnings, those are often issued kind of around the noon hour or the afternoon. So something you might want to check back into for Cedric or David later on. But I would go ahead and say tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday night, especially for spots outside of Chattanooga. If you have some of those sensitive spring plants that are already blooming, that are already going, cover them up.